Let's go.
Well, you did reality TV.
I'll be in trouble with my people. Like Biden says, I don't have that problem. But, well, first of all, he couldn't do this interview. You asked him questions like this?
No, we were talking about that. We were like,
we'd like to extend the invite to Joe Biden if he'd like to come on this podcast.
Yeah, I think he should. You know what chance you have of getting him on? I'd say less than 1%. Okay? If you did that, it'd be interesting. I'd actually watch that one. Okay, see how long it lasted.
So there are two questions I have to ask
Go
you.
ahead.
The first one's kind of fun. Aliens. I want to talk to you about aliens.
Yeah.
UFOs, UAPs.
I know.
The disclosure we've seen in Congress recently. It's confusing and upsetting a lot of Americans because there's something happening. There are unidentified aerial phenomena in the sky. We don't know what they are. Do you?
So it's such a question I do get a lot, and it's such an interesting question. I've met with pilots that look just like you, actually. Okay, they have more of a crew cut. Okay, they look like him and they look like you. Some of them look like you,
a little fatter.
But these are perfect people. Okay, and they're not crazy. Conspiratorial. Yeah. They're not crazy. Yeah. And they tell me stories that they've seen things that you wouldn't believe. These are not people that you would say, "Gee, that's okay."
Way. President of the United States.
But
I said,
who is it? That's Joe Biden wanting to do an interview. So I've met with pilots like beautiful Tom Cruise, but taller. Yeah. Okay, handsome, perfect people. Sir, there was something there that was round in form and going like 4 times faster than my super jet fighter plane. And I look at these guys, and they really mean it.
Yeah.
And am I a believer? No, I can't say I am. But I have met with people that are serious people that say there's some really strange things that they see flying around out there. And, if you go to Nevada and you look at that little section of where they go to look at the aliens, where they think all the aliens are landing, that, it's it's maybe the number one tourist attraction in the United States.
Roswell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roswell. I think it's the number one. It's the lines of people waiting. You have no idea how many times I'm asked that question.
But don't you have access to that information?
I have access, and I speak to people about it. I've had actually meetings on it, and they will tell you there's something going on. When they say things are going 4 times faster than my beautiful top-of-the-line airplane that goes, real fast.
With no identifiable propulsion
Mach
system.
2, right?
These things are creating their own gravity fields, allegedly.
Well, they have people that are very smart and very solid have said they believe there is something out there. And, it makes sense that there could be. I've never been convinced, even despite that. I just, for some reason, it's not my thing. But a lot of people believe that it's true. A lot of very good, solid people believe it's true.
I
know there are illegal aliens out there, but those are the ones that come through the border. We have plenty of them. Those are the ones I know. When you say aliens, I say, are they illegal aliens? These might be illegal, but we don't want to test them. Yeah. Because if they can go 4 times faster, we're not going to test them. So it's an interesting question.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there a chance that one of these orgs is potentially hiding information from you about aliens?
I guess so. It's you have the deep state, and you do have a deep state. And certainly they could. But I don't think on this subject. I was interested in it because I've been asked so many times. And I talked to people that have said that they've, it was a sighting. And it's very believable. It's very possible that there is something. And why wouldn't there be? You take a look at the universe and you see all of the different planets and you see this, look, here we are on one relatively small planet. Why wouldn't there be on a planet that's 400 times the size? Why wouldn't there be somebody? So it's certainly believable to me.
The thought of it freaks me out. It's weird to think that we potentially are only the source of life in like an infinite, ever expanding universe. But technology.
But they'd never be able to take you in a fight.
No chance.
I'll bet on you.
No chance. Send me in.
I'll bet on you.
Send me in. Send me and my brother. We'll handle it.
That's a good team.
And if we don't come back, I'm sure he will be happy about that too.
The two of you will come back and say hello. Say hello to him. By the way,
I will.
He's a great guy.
Maybe Elon could get you guys there. You a fan of Elon Musk?
I think Elon might be good for this question. He's a terrific. I looked at the ship that went up, the spaceship, and I never saw this before. I saw this is like 2 years ago. I see the motors coming down, the engines coming down, no wings, no anything. And I say, what is going on?
Yeah.
And nobody ever saw that before. And if you didn't have him, you probably wouldn't be seeing it. And I called him. I said, what's that? He says, well, we want to be able to reuse the engines. I said, they don't have wings. They don't have anything, and they're landing on a platform in the middle of the ocean. I said, how cool is that? I thought I saw it all, but that was. No, he's a spectacular guy.
Well, I mean, between PayPal, Neuralink, Starlink, Tesla, SpaceX,
and other things.
Yeah, no, he's probably one of the greatest minds of our generation.
AI, very big. He's
that's what I wanted to ask about. Yeah. It was the second question because technology is improving at a rapid pace.
That's right.
At a pace humanity's never seen before. And the most recent development in technology that is alarming but also cool is artificial intelligence, AI.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be eventually to a point where we're not able to tell what's real and what's fake. The era of truth, I believe, is probably slowly, unfortunately, coming to an end, unless you come with receipts. What do you think the government's role in enabling, protecting, or governing AI should be in general? Should this superpower become what we believe it probably will be?
Well, it is a superpower, and you want to be right at the beginning of it, but it is very disconcerting. I said, you used the word alarming. It is alarming when I saw a picture of me promoting a product, and I could not tell. The voice was perfect. The lips moved perfectly with every word. The way you couldn't, if you were a lip reader, you'd say it's absolutely perfect. And that's scary. In particular, in one way, if you're the president of the United States and you announce that 13 missiles have been sent to, let's not use the name of a country, we have just sent 13 nuclear missiles heading to somewhere, and they will hit their targets in 12 minutes and 59 seconds, and you're that country, and there's no way of detecting. I asked Elon, is there any way that like Russia or China can say that that's not really President Trump? He said there's no way.
They'd have to rely on secondary first alert systems.
They have to rely on a code that if you don't have a certain code, who the hell's going to check? You got like 12 minutes. And let's check the code. Gee, how's everything doing? So what do they do when they see this, right? They have maybe a counterattack. It's so dangerous in that way. Okay. In another way, it's so incredible that what they do is so incredible. I've seen it. I just got back from San Francisco. I met with incredible people in San Francisco, and we talked about this. This subject is hot on their plates, the super geniuses. Yep. And they gave me $12 million for the campaign, which, 4 years ago, they probably wouldn't have. We had thousands of people in the streets. You saw it. It just happened this last weekend. Yep. I met with incredible people, actually. And this is this is what everyone's talking about with all of the technology. These are the real technology people. They're talking about AI. And they showed me things, but I've seen things that are you wouldn't even think it's possible. But in terms of copycat, now, to a lesser extent, they can make a commercial. I saw this. Yeah. They made a commercial, me promoting a product, and it wasn't me. And I said, did I make that commercial? Did I forget that I made that commercial? It is so unbelievable. So it brings with it difficulty, but we have to be at the forefront. It's going to happen. And if it's going to happen, we have to take the lead over China. China is the primary threat in terms of that. And what they need more than anything else is electricity. They have to have electricity, massive amounts of electricity. I don't know if you know that, in order to do these, essentially it's a plant. And the electricity needs are greater than anything we've ever needed before to do AI at the highest level. And China will produce it because they'll do whatever you have to do, whereas we have environmental impact people, and we have a lot of people trying to hold us back. But massive amounts of electricity are needed in order to do AI. And we're going to have to generate a whole different level of energy. And we can do it, and I think we should do it, but we have to be very careful with it, right? We have to watch it. But it's, the words you use were exactly right. It's the words a lot of smart people are using. There are those people that say it takes over the human race. It's really powerful stuff, AI. So let's see how it all works out. But I think as long as it's there,
See how it plays out.
And that's just AI. What about when it becomes SI or super
yeah,
intelligence?
no. Then they'll have super AI, right? It's super duper AI. But what it does is so crazy.
It's amazing. It's
crazy.
Now it can also be really used for good. I mean, things can happen. I had a speech rewritten by AI out there. One of the top people. He said, "Oh, you're going to make a speech?" Yeah. He goes, click, click, click. And like 15 seconds later, he shows me my speech.
That's crazy.
Written.
That's crazy.
So beautifully. I said, I'm going to use this sucker. I've never seen anything like it.
What'd you say to your speechwriter after that?
You're
You're fired.
I said, "You're fired, Vince. Get the hell out of here." No. This was so crazy. It took it, and it made it unbelievable. And it's and so fast. It's You just say, "I'm writing a speech about these two young, beautiful men that are great fighters and sort of great at a lot of things, and tell me about them and say some nice things," and period. And then that comes out. Logan in particular is a great champion.
Yeah.
Jake is also good. See, I'm doing that only because you happen to
I appreciate
now.
that.
But no, it comes out with the most beautiful.
I'm gonna say the topic of aliens has been pretty interesting. A lot of people have seen or experienced or heard a lot of things about aliens, but Donald Trump's response on alien is pretty remarkable because the way he answered the question, he did it in a very diplomatic way. He never said that aliens exist or doesn't exist, but he gave examples of people that have experienced it in their outcomes and their behaviors about it, you know. And for sure, right? I believe, if I'm asked personally if aliens do exist, I believe aliens exist, because thousands of people won't say stuff that doesn't happen or that doesn't exist. That doesn't happen, that doesn't exist. For sure, it definitely does exist, it definitely does exist. And the way Trump explained it, there are many planets, many stars, many galaxies, and you might think we are the only humans, or we are the only living things in our solar system, but no, we are not. It's the same way as other people living in other planets might think or feel that they are the only existence, and I believe in my own personal experience or in my own personal thoughts that there are other people, maybe other humans, or maybe other kinds of people living in other planets that they too might feel or think that they are the only ones that are existing. And it's pretty interesting the way you see how aliens come on Earth and does their thing. They don't really interfere with the women's way of life. You haven't really seen like aliens attacking or harming. They just come on Earth. Maybe they come for observations, or maybe they come to help, or maybe they come for observations, or maybe they come to help, or maybe they come to do things. It's really nice that you can see they don't really interfere with humans' way of life, with humans' way of doing things. And if they don't attack us, what can we do? We can learn from them. Like Donald Trump said, he made a pilot who was flying I think F1, is it F-150 jet, the Raptor jet, and he saw a big stuff like an alien going way past him, an alien spaceship going 4 times past him. That shows that they are pretty um, sophisticated when it comes to technology and when it comes to advancement. So they are pretty sophisticated, and they are far ahead, and they are far ahead of us when it comes to technology. So what can we really grasp and learn from that? What can we really grasp and learn from that? We can learn that we are not the only species or humans or beings in our galaxy, in our planet. There are other beings and maybe other species of people living in different planets and also existing in different planets. So we can greatly learn that and try to see how we can learn from them. Because I believe there is a ton of great things that we can learn from aliens, that we can learn from their spaceship. And if one day we are opportune, or maybe the pilots are opportune to come across them again, maybe they can stop them and ask them some question and see how they can learn from them. Because life is all about learning, right? Because life is all about learning because you never know what you might learn. You might learn from them. Like they can teach you how is their spaceship running 4 times that of F1 Raptors. If their spaceship is running 4 times that of F1 planes or F1 Raptors, if they could teach humans such technology, guess what humans can do? They could also make planes that will travel. That will take like 10 minutes to go to London, from New York to London, 10 minutes from Chicago to South Africa, 20 minutes. You know, that will really improve a lot of things, especially when it comes to transport, logistics, and the rest. It will really help and advance. It is pretty interesting that the planes, the aliens, they don't affect or attack humans. You just come and do that thing, come either to observe, come either to learn, or maybe come to just have the things that they are doing. I don't know from what planet, from where they come from. But to my own case, to my own personal belief, I believe that aliens exist. They exist. And maybe not just aliens, maybe other kind of humans that we have never seen. It's like some people not believing that angels exist. I think people believe a lot that angels exist. Even people that don't go to church, they still believe that angels exist, right? It's like some people not believing that angels exist. You know, Once you experience them, you might never know that they exist. So I believe there are other humans, other kind of people living in and existing in other planets, that we haven't come across. Somebody experiencing something and you're not experiencing that thing doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And going to the part of AI, for real, right? AI is pretty remarkable. Trump talked about how a video was done about him promoting a product that wasn't even him. Man, it's really interesting if AI becomes super AI or super AGI, artificial general intelligence in such a way that is way advanced more than humans. And Trump says they're gonna make a super anti-AI to counteract it, right? Anti intelligence to counteract it. It shows how technology and innovation has really gone very far. It is pretty remarkable what technology can do. And I agree with him. There's always a good and bad side of it. He talks about how a speech was prepared for him using AI. So it's pretty interesting. And I had to fire I had to fire his speech writer. Um, it's pretty interesting, In life in general, there was always a good and bad side of everything. Everything has a good and bad side of it. guns that people talk about guns. So there's a good side of guns and there's a bad side of guns, but it depends on which side outweighs one another. If the bad side outweighs the good side, then it's not useful. But if the good side outweighs the bad side, then it's much useful. And if you look at AI, right, the good side of AI clearly outweighs the bad side. I think there was a company in Russia that talked about how it will start that is currently in process to develop AI that we use to cure cancer. So that will be pretty interesting if they come out with a solution for that. That will be really really breakthrough. And AI has done a lot of good things. Although it has done a lot of bad things, has done a lot of good things. That's made coding easy. That's made video creation, editing, especially for students. Essays, calculating, solving problems. It has made it drastically easy for a lot of people, and also made their lives really really easy. Even though there was a downside of it, like the AI creating the videos for Donald Trump advertising their products. Yeah, and Trump is pretty right. In order to train such graphic models, I think is it the GP, it trained the Chat GPT, the GPT models. You need a lot of GPU, and those GPUs take a lot of kilowatts energy. So you need high energy, and you need like probably a supercomputer with those GPU chips inside to train such model in order for the model to learn how to solve problems, how to create videos like that of Trump that was created, and how to better answer a lot of questions that students people might have. So, and China is really leading way ahead of that. But when it comes to technology in terms of cars, Elon Musk Tesla is leading ahead of the AI side. And going to the part of Joe Biden, I mean, Joe Biden, from his personality, where Trump is somebody that is more like outgoing and stuff like that. So Joe Biden seems like a more calm person, so he might be scared to answer some, maybe do the interview, but with the call that you see that came in, you never know who made that call, right? So he might be scared to do the interview, but I can see at the end of the day, I can say at the end of the day, whoever will lead America or become a president of America should be somebody that is patriotic, that has love for the nation, innovation, and its people. And Trump seems pretty fit. He's 70 years, he's 78 years, he's 76 or 77, maybe 76 or 77 years old person, being very, very interactive like that and laugh and see. One thing that Trump has that I haven't come across that with other presidents is knowing how to make people feel good of themselves when they're talking to him. You see how it makes those guys, uh, Logan and the other guy, feel good of themselves. He makes you feel so good of yourself. He cracks a lot of jokes, makes you laugh, makes you happy, puts you in a good mood. It's a good skill for a leader, a servant leader especially, to know how to make the people feel good of themselves. And he's somebody that is just born with cracking jokes. I used to tell myself, if Trump was not a real estate mogul, he would have become a comedian. He is a perfect comedian, super good comedian. Somebody who's a comedian, somebody that doesn't need to write scripts. You guys are chatting, just sliding jokes inside the conversations and cracking you up like crazy. And I believe Trump is somebody like that. And for sure, he has a lot of good things and good policies about America with the war. He says if he gets to become president, the war in Russia, I think, is it in Russia will stop? Or even before he takes office, if he wins. And I mean, I'm gonna go with your words, right? And I believe they might say if he was president, there wouldn't be inflation. And maybe that might be true. We never know. But election is coming soon. Soon we are getting to November. So we left Americans to go to the polls and go cast a vote and determine and decide who you want to lead this nation for the next 4 years. Either you want Donald Trump or either you want Joe Biden. But there is a higher chance that maybe Trump might win. You never know, or maybe Biden might win, but you never know. So I mean, he's doing a good thing by taking all these interviews like that. It's making people like him more. It's making people vote for him more, and all not like that. So, not a bad thing. But one thing you can do, Trump, try to have black interviewers interview. Invite them to your interview space and have them interview. By so doing, you gain a lot of trust from a lot of votes from black people. Thank you.